For today's adventure, join me for a night hike to Fifth Water Hot Springs near Spanish Fork, Utah. It's currently 10:50 p.m. on Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. I don't know the temperature. I don't have any internet service here, but it is relatively cold. Not extremely cold. I'm guessing around freezing, maybe just below. There were some snowflakes falling, light snowflakes on the drive up this road, and I'm not feeling very adept right now. I'm not feeling very tough. I have the truck running as we speak for warmth. I'm going to be wearing this sweatshirt and my jacket. I do think I'll heat up on the way. Might end up taking the jacket off and stashing it along the trail. Hopefully I'll find it on the way back, and I might not. But in preparation for this hike, I've brought a small bottle of water, a change of clothes, a towel, my backpack, and that's about it. A phone with no cell reception. So follow along. This is going to be a fun one. I've done this hike a couple of times before, including once at night, and it was really nice. So I hope that I can share with you a little portion of what this is like. There's a couple other cars in the lot, 2 to be specific. Have my truck and trailer here because I am out on a delivery run with Send It Delivery Co. If you want to look Send It Delivery Co. up on YouTube. But this video isn't about that, so I won't mention it anymore. And now we turn our focus to the hike. I'm not gonna use a light. I don't like using a light when hiking at nighttime, because I think that if you want light, you hike in the daytime. What I will do on occasion is turn on the cell phone camera with the light feature so that you can maybe see a little bit of the trail and a little bit of the journey that might be impossible to make out on the cell phone screen without it. This hike's going to start with a little bit of a walk up the roadway, and that's because the actual trailhead is maybe 1 to 2 miles up the road, and then there's another 1 or 2 miles in to the I was trying to make out what's ahead of me. It's just the gate. I thought it was people for a second. Then there's a mile or 2 into the actual hot springs, and that's because it's winter. So I've only ever done this hike in winter, meaning I've always had to walk up the roadway first. It was a pretty good long walk up the road just to get to the trailhead itself. Here's the first little transition here. It is actually very icy. I can slip on the ice here. That's good to know, just for when I continue my drive, if nothing else. And now, for some reason, there had been no snow, and all of a sudden we enter the snow zone. It's a very bright night with the clouds and the moon, so no difficulty whatsoever with visibility. I can see up to the bend in the road. And I like hiking at night under both circumstances. I have hiked at night where I cannot see my own hand in front of my face. It's kind of a cliche, but I've experienced that, and it's an incredible experience, but this is far, far less intimidating and intense. It's kind of crazy how if you have not been somewhere for a very long time, let's say several years, as in with this for me, and then you go back there, time feels as if it's a line on a paper that you've folded over on itself so that distant parts of the line are now touching each other, and you even feel the same way that you felt the last time you were in this spot. But that's partly because being present to any place kind of feels the same. It takes you out of whatever specific emotions and feelings and way of experiencing life you've been in, and puts you into this timeless way of feeling and experiencing life. And one, that's really beautiful, and two, that's kind of how I feel right now, and I like it. I am at the trailhead, only about half an hour or so into the hike, maybe 35 minutes, which have passed in what has felt more like 5 to 10 minutes. So the hike feels as if it's going very fast. And I do, you remember what you remember and what you don't remember is interesting. Your brain takes your lived experiences from the past and basically makes them into a movie. All the interesting snippets, and it kind of gradually just filters out a lot of the long bits. No overnight use. Oops. But I remember the trail being very beautiful, both daytime and nighttime. Very interesting. There'll be a little bridge up here. It's funny how things come back to you that you didn't know you remembered when you are in physical proximity to them in real life. It's like a connection between the physical place and the memories of that place. So pro tip, in my experience so far, which is just one journey at nighttime, nobody cares. Especially in these, I just gotta remember which one. I think I crossed this bridge here. Let's double check. Maybe I don't. Yeah, it's a little 9.6 miles. Fitzwater Hot Springs are 2 miles. That's as far as I'm going, 2 miles in. And so I guess that bridge is going somewhere else. But, out west, the population's pretty sparse out here. There's not a problem with overcrowding, especially in winter at night. Nobody's checking. Let's see what the trail looks like without the flashlight on. It's not very hard to see with my eyes. It's harder to see in the camera. Eyesight, quite easy to see the trail. And even easy to see off in this direction. To my right, there's a gorge with the river in it. And I believe that last time I came, In the winter, it was far more snowy, and then a lot of that snow was packed down into ice. But it's definitely, yep, case in point, still slippery with steep spots and exposed rocks, and I'm, if I remember right, by no means at the steepest point yet. I'm using the flash feature for a minute here just so you can see the trail, because it's pretty cool. A little bit dangerous here, pretty steep slope off to the right, and it is sloped downward towards that edge a bit. You can even see where people have slid based on their footprints, and understandable because that would be very easy to do. So I am placing feet pretty carefully here, but I love this, and if I remember right, there's some more sections where there's even a steeper rock wall to the left side of the trail, and the drop off down to the river down there. I'm using the flash feature for a minute here just so you can see the trail, because it's pretty cool. A little bit dangerous here, pretty steep slope off to the right, and it is sloped downward towards that edge a bit. You can even see where people have slid based on their footprints, and understandable because that would be very easy to do. So I am placing feet pretty carefully here, but I love this, and if I remember right, there's some more sections where there's even a steeper rock wall to the left side of the trail, and the drop off down to the river down there. Here's another section. We get that rock face. You can see my breath here in the frame. That's pretty cool. And a bit of a steep, narrow trail here. You can actually see these ropes someone put up to grab onto, which is nice, actually. And this is where 6 or 7 heavily armed, masked park rangers suddenly jumped me and shot me to death. And everyone said that I kind of deserved it because I was breaking the law in several ways. Oh wait, that didn't happen, because that's incredibly not normal in a sane society. Hey guys.
Good, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Awesome. This looks cool. This is cool. You know, it's weird how similar to AI the function of your brain involved with memory specifically really is. Because I remember, this is a fun one, I remember, or think I remember, this trail in a certain way, and certainly some of it's accurate and some of it's direct memories from the trail. But I really think that to some extent, you know, as I approached the trail in physical proximity and my brain started putting together an image of what this trail is like, or images of what it's like, I do think that to an extent it just called up all of my memories in the genre of hiking on trails and kind of compiled them together and took a composite image from all of that, and, you know, used primarily the images that were direct from this trail that I actually do remember, or, you know, generally remember, but also filled in the gaps with just what I know collectively about what trails in mountainous areas look like in general. And that's really kind of fascinating. I'm not trying to draw a weird correlation or, you know, create some sort of theory that we are actually AI or living in a simulation. Those theories are already out there. And I can actually debunk one a little bit. Whew, getting goosebumps. I can debunk one a little bit because in order to live in a simulation, there would have to be something to simulate. You know, simulation implies that there's a reality. How do you simulate something if it isn't its own thing to create a replica of? So I don't see why us living in a simulation is any better of an explanation of life than us living in a reality. But wow, it's weird to say these things out loud at night on the trail, in the dark, deep woods, in the mountains, in the wilderness. Makes you feel something for sure. But, you know, having said all that, I think we model AI off of ourselves. Let's not confuse which came first. But there's a lot about life we don't know too, so. But man, you just gotta walk alone in the woods at night every once in a while to break yourself out of the patterns of thought that you have going all day. For me, it's driving, doing deliveries, pick up, drop off, search for something else, take phone calls, look at maps, make decisions, go. And I decided tonight, because I almost didn't do this. In fact, several times I almost turned around from this, even after I'd already started. Here's the bridge that you do have to cross. I knew there was one. And I just said to myself, with all the hundreds of hours that I spend driving, and even the hours that I spend not driving on this or that, stopping at the store, stopping at a restaurant, taking this long here, that long there, all very unintentionally along the way. Why do I think that one intentional thing is gonna make it or break it for the trip, for my timing, for the series of events that happens from here on out. If I don't have time now to do something like this, what is the criteria? When is it the right time to ask that classic question? Trying to phrase it differently or creatively or in a way that brings its meaning to light more profoundly somehow, but it's really just that. If I don't have time for it now, when will I? And why don't I now? And how come I have time for other things, but never this? And how much is the timing all arbitrary and outside of my control anyways? I'm just hanging on to the illusion that it's under my control and the delusion that it's under my control, specifically through the means of always rushing and of always saying no to the optional things. That's the exact opposite of being in control, isn't it? That is, the reality of that is being controlled by a go-to response that applies every single time. You're not really in control if you have a habitual response and it determines what you do. I'm really glad I was able to articulate that. Maybe that wasn't as profound as I think it is right now at 11:50 or so p.m. What kind of track was that? Yeah, just a shoe print. The thought of wild animals crossed my mind super early into this hike. Like, hang on a minute. I'm in Utah, walking in the canyons at night by myself. What if there's a mountain lion? So I'll leave you with that thought. What if there's a mountain lion? Now, if I remember right, this little spot that I just traversed, continuing up along here, this is the most treacherous, dangerous part of the trail, if I remember right. And last time I came through here, it was much more icy. And so it actually kind of feels like a piece of cake tonight. So if I remember right, and that was the steepest, most dangerous spot that I remember everybody, because I met other people along the trail next time, including the time I went at night. And I actually met the other people, I believe, right there when I was hiking at night, and they were slipping and falling and having a very bad time. I helped one lady in particular who was having a very bad time, and she said she was going to kiss me, but she did not follow through. But anyways, tonight it doesn't look like I'm at risk of any false promises occurring, because there were 2 cars in the lot, and I've already passed 1 couple, so there's only potentially 1 more person or group of people out here still. It's also possible that in one of those vehicles someone was just camping and not on the trail. So who knows? Here's the other group. How's it going? Hey, am I close?
Honestly, pretty close.
Sweet.
The whole thing to yourself.
Yeah, I know. There's only 2 cars in the lot. Your second group I've seen go by.
The one by the waterfall is the best. It's like a gradient of warm to cold.
Nice. Thanks. Hey, enjoy your night.
Hey, you too.
Let's do just a little bit of actual running here. Feeling that eagerness to get there. A little bit of energy. It's now probably shortly after midnight. Something I still really know nothing about is the movement of the moon. All I know is that it moves in this relatively short period of time. It's gone from over my right shoulder and behind me to over my left shoulder and slightly in front of me. And of course, I've been moving the whole time too and changing directions. So, but that's something I've definitely never learned about or looked into and studied to understand is what to expect and how to read anything out of the movement of the moon. Definitely find it very interesting though. These trees look awesome and or creepy depending on your perspective. But I'm definitely reaching the destination. I guess the trail goes another 7 miles, which is really cool. And I have climbed up over the top of the falls before, but I'm not going to do that at night. But yes, I recognize this spot. You can kind of see it here. The one thing that's missing, you actually see a bit of that blue tint in daylight. These are a stunning, very unique blue color. We go down and check out this one first. This is the actual most dangerous part of the trail. It's always the access points that are legitimately the steepest and scariest. Let's see what we get with the light on. Yeah, kind of cloudy. It is a cloudy blue color in daylight, but the cloudiness is slightly diminished and the blue is greatly augmented. Icy there. Let's see if this is where I want to commit to getting in, or if I want to go up further. Maybe I should go up further. That's a nice, warm, bathwater warm, kind of lukewarm. I think I do want to go up further. I want to get a shot here with the light off first. And then one with the light on. We'll see if we can see any farther. I can see farther, but I don't think you can in the screen. To this little zigzag that goes up a very steep path along the cliff above the waterfall. Still may not really be able to see it. But down here, another pretty steep route down, but I think this is where I want to go. Let's just explore up here really quick. There's our zigzag path, but I know that leads away from the water, which is my actual goal and intention to get to. So now I am a little lost as to whether I am above the waterfall or haven't reached it yet. That path is so cool up there. That looks like a really nice pool there. It's a very steep descent to get down to it. This looks like a more forgiving access point. That's nice. That's a nice temperature. I want to show you around a little bit. So I think I'll walk up and down a touch more as long as my phone storage holds up. And then I'm gonna focus on getting wet, getting warm. Okay, here's some nice pools. This has been built up. This looks like a nice steamy pool to sit in if it's not too hot. Oh no, that's a nice temperature there. Some more pools there, but it's so steamy, it's hard to see them. I'm not even that eager to get in because I'm so warm now from the hike and a little bit of running towards the end of it. I don't feel like I need to warm up at all. There's some more options. Lots of gradients, as they said, in temperature. There you go. And here is the waterfall. And this is actually, I believe, a hot waterfall. So that's pretty unique as far as hot springs go. Let me confirm that. Double check here. I'm giving you accurate information. This has been shored up. And again, this tells me it's a hot waterfall because the source of water to this pool is that waterfall. And people have shored it up to create a hot pool. I see the steam and feel the heat rising off of it. So I know that it is a hot pool. which leads me to believe that this is a hot waterfall. Check out this formation. So you can go not only under and behind the waterfall, but inside a cave, basically under and behind the waterfall. Just try not to slip and fall in here. Because my goal is to feel the waterfall itself. And I probably should at this point. Oh, is this cold? That is cool. Not cold, but cool. So, how's this water? Very, very warm. Super fascinating. If not for this cool water, actually, it'd probably be too hot. So at this point, I don't want to get my shoes or any of my clothing wet. So I will have probably just a couple more shots here. And I mean, as you can see, this is a very, very cool place. And there are parts of it that I certainly have not thoroughly explored or shown you. But that's part of the appeal that makes you hopefully want to come here for yourself someday. This is Fifth Water Hot Springs near Spanish Fork, Utah. What I wanted to do here is get a little shot with the light off, but I might just not enough light here to get anything. So all you can really make out is the landscape where there's contrast against the night sky. So 12:37 p.m. is where I will finish up the hike. Have finished up the hike. We'll enjoy sitting in the hot springs for a minute, and I'll turn the camera on myself for a second to close this out. I won't be able to see because it's kind of, I'm either looking at the screen or the screen is looking at me. Can't do both at once here. And that's so bright. Oof. So hopefully this gave you a little taste of Fifth Water Hot Springs. It's such an incredible hot springs. I love it. This is my third or fourth time here. And I'm going to close it out now. Enjoy relaxing in the pool. And hope that you enjoyed watching this clip and maybe get out here or to another experience like this yourself sometime if this has inspired you. It's now 1 a.m. I'm going to begin the hike back, and I will do that pretty much in silence, by which I mean I just won't be taking the phone out anymore, won't be filming anymore. Hope I gave you a nice overall picture of this very specific, unique experience of hiking to Fifth Water Hot Springs at night, and hope I maybe inspired you to do something similar yourself. And with that, I will head back. So for the most part, as promised, I did not film on the way back, but I'm gonna go ahead right now just to close this out and conclude it. It's about 2:40, 2:45 in the morning. it was definitely a very long hike back. It felt like a fairly long hike there too. I wouldn't say it either, felt significantly longer than the other, but on the way back there's just nothing really to do but getting back. So obviously I was eager to do that, and it felt like just a long hike that dragged on for a bit. So glad to be back. Thanks for watching the video, and I definitely had a good experience. I won't say I don't still doubt whether it was the right choice by, some definition of the term. But regardless of that, what I can say confidently is that it was a cool experience. So we'll leave it at that.